the Golden Globes was hosted last night in Hollywood. There were so many stars present because it honors both film and television. And I know a lot of people don't really view it as a legitimate award show, although maybe to the general public it does. But, everybody has their opinions about it, but hopefully, it has some merit come award season. It usually does not in terms of predicting the Oscars, but it's nice to see some people get the recognition that they otherwise might not get in this one. But going down the awards list, when it comes to Best Female Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture, the winner of that was Tiana Taylor from One Battle After Another. She had a very emotional speech in that one. It was very, very touching. But for Male Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture, that went to Stellan Skarsgård of Sentimental Value. And that was kind of a shock to me because I did not expect him to win that one. I thought it was a very stacked category, obviously. But good for him. I absolutely love that movie. If you heard me talk about it before, I highly recommend checking that one out. It's called Sentimental Value. Very, very good film. Looking to TV, we had Best Male Actor in a Series, and that went to Noah Wyle of The Pitt. And that has pretty much been sweeping award season all year long. Pretty sure they won the Critics' Choice, and then I'm not sure if they qualified for the Emmys or not, if they won that yet. But if not yet, they definitely will come the next Emmys. And for Best Female Actor in a TV Series, that went to Jean Smart of Hacks. I have not gotten to check that out yet, but I heard it's absolutely hilarious. For Male Supporting Actor in a TV series, that went to Owen Cooper of Adolescence, which also has already swept the entire award circuit. They already won the Primetime Emmy, the Critics' Choice, and now the Golden Globe for this one. And everyone involved in that was nominated in terms of the acting and Best Limited Series, that pretty much all went to Adolescence last night in the Golden Globe. So props to them. I think it's only 4-episode miniseries. So very, very short, easy watch that you don't have to commit to for years and years and years as new seasons of television. You're just waiting for them to get developed. But Best Male Actor in a TV series for musical or comedy, that went to Seth Rogen of The Studio. Again, another show that absolutely swept awards with the Emmys and the Critics' Choice, winning Best Series, Musical, or Comedy as well. And as I can't recommend that one enough, that one's on Apple TV. Is absolutely hilarious. There's so many celebrity guest stars on there that are at their best, in my opinion, including Martin Scorsese, legendary director, in the first episode where he makes a cameo. So highly recommend checking that one out. Original score, this one was not part of the telecast, unfortunately, which, I thought was pretty dumb. It was not deemed part of it because they were trying to, they had some time constraints, I guess, but this ended up going to Ludwig Göransson, who scored the soundtrack for Sinners, and he also did the soundtrack for Oppenheimer, which he won as well a few years back. So props to him. He is already becoming a legend in the industry. And for Best Screenplay, this one I found really interesting because it was absolutely stacked since they did not separate it by adapted screenplay and original screenplays. They just combined it into one category. So that led to a huge, huge stack of the best films of this year. But it did end up going to Paul Thomas Anderson, who wrote One Battle After Another, and he also took home Best Director for that film in this one. For Best Female Actor in a Motion Picture Drama, that went to Jessie Buckley of Hamnet. I don't think anyone was surprised here. She has already taken home the Critics' Choice, and I think that she is an absolute lock for the Oscar. For a female actor in a musical or comedy, that went to Rose Byrne of If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I have not been able to see that yet, but I heard she's absolutely phenomenal in this one. And then Best Male Actor in a Musical or Comedy went to Timothy Chalamet of Marty Supreme. Again, I've already talked about how well he performs in that movie. He's already taken home the Critics' Choice, but I hope the Oscars doesn't pull the rug out from under us because they hate giving it to younger actors for Best Actor. So really, really hoping that they do not pull that come the Oscars in March. And then for Best Cinematic and Box Office Achievement, which I thought was usually given to just the highest grossing Hollywood movie of the year, which would have been Zootopia 2. I already said I thought that would be a lock for them, but it did end up going to Sinners, which was really awesome to see, because I guess it really does embody that cinematic experience that brings audiences together. I mean, that was, I'd say, the people's favorite movie of the year. I don't think that's any question. So I'm glad to see that they are effectively rewarding movies like that instead of just, who made the most money. Because, that's just so easy to just kind of say, oh, just track the box office and you can just easily predict who wins that. But I'm glad that they are rewarding the impact that it had on the general audiences throughout the year. But for Best Animated Film, that went to K-Pop Demon Hunters. Again, no surprise here. It was pretty much a phenomenon all summer long, and originally came out in that summer, and it's still making waves today, tracking and charting on Billboard. So huge props to them. Can't wait for the eventual sequel. And then for Best Non-English Motion Picture, that went to The Secret Agent, starring Wagner Moura, who also took home Best Actor for Best Motion Picture or in a Drama. And that was a huge win for them, and that has a lot of people buzzing because last year, Brazil also took home Best International Film and Best Actress. And so they have best back-to-back years with Brazil winning those awards, which they're the first ever in those respective categories. But last year's film, I'm Still Here, and now you have The Secret Agent this year. So huge shout out to Brazilian film. That is a huge achievement, and I can't wait to see more and more of that success. But for Best TV Drama, that ended up going to The Pit, which, again, they're pretty much sweeping everything this year, it seems like. Unfortunately, it's a very, very stacked year, so it's very hard to pick, but it seems like that is the runaway pick for voters all season long. And then Best Female Actor in a TV Series, that went to Rhys Seehorn with Pluribus, who Vince Gilligan, the creator of Breaking Bad, he said that he wrote it for her, and she ended up signing on to the show before ever reading or writing a script of any sort. She just trusted Vince Gilligan through and through, and it obviously has paid off so far for them. And then Best Male Actor in a Drama ended up going... And then Best Motion Picture for a musical or a comedy ended up going to One Battle After Another. Again, that's pretty much going to be a lock for Best Picture at the Oscars based on how the early awards are going. It might even be more of a lock than Oppenheimer was 2 years ago, but so keep an eye on that. But Best Motion Picture Drama ended up going to Hamnet. A lot of people thought this would go to Sinners, but Hamnet was a huge surprise in this category. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how Oscar season and the rest of award season go when it comes to Best Picture. I think that in terms of Best Picture at the Oscars, I think that's still One Battle After Another, 100%. But it'll be very interesting to see if Sinners kind of gets snubbed the rest of the way.